Lesson 6. Understanding our nervous system. Inner peace begins the moment you choose not to allow another person or event to control your emotions. Pema Cauldron. An altered stress response system. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Do you feel as if you are treading water just to get through the day? And are you in a constant state of exhaustion? Or do you feel that you are continually on high alert, preparing for the next thing that could go wrong? Feeling anxious, living in fear, and walking on eggshells, or possibly shut down. You feel numb and empty and feel like you're in a glass box, as I described earlier in my story. If your home life is threatening or in chaos, and your work environment is also emotionally or physically stressful, then this is enough to change our stress response system to either become overly reactive or shut down. It becomes faulty, signalling danger even when we are safe. It is like an alarm system constantly signalling fire when there is no smoke or no flames. Constantly living in this survival state can be debilitating, and too often the strategies we use to cope with, such as taking drugs, drinking excessively, or eating for comfort rather than for hunger, only brings temporary relief. For us to handle and cope with stress, our body and mind needs to be able to rest and recover. A place where we feel safe, we can take a breath and unwind. When we have moderate and predictable stimulation of our stress response systems, it leads to a more flexible, stronger stress response that builds resilience and helps us deal with bigger challenges that we will face in life. Stress is not something that we should be afraid of. It is the controllability, unpredictability, and intensity of stress that can cause problems. What is our stress response system? Our stress response system lies within our autonomic nervous system. It takes care of a lot of our automatic functions, such as heartbeat, digestion, body temperature, but it does more than this. It also manages your survival and stress response to keep you alive when your life is in danger. Its purpose is about having a flexible and resilient nervous system that can accurately assess safety and danger and respond appropriately. Anything new will activate our stress response system, whether it is healthy or not. That's a new job, a new house, a new town, a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Until that new thing is proven safe and positive, it will be categorized as a potential threat. So it's no wonder why you get so tired. Our nervous system is made up of more than 100 billion nerve cells and is constantly relaying messages from the brain to our body. For most people, the unknown is one of the major causes of feeling anxious or overwhelmed, and it is made worse if there is conflict in a relationship. So what is our autonomic nervous system, or ANS? The autonomic nervous system, ANS, has two components. One, the sympathetic nervous system, and two, the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system functions like a gas pedal in a car. It triggers the fight-flight response, providing the body with a burst of energy so that it can respond to perceived dangers. The parasympathetic nervous system acts as a brake. It promotes the rest and digest response that calms the body down after the danger has passed. It has three general responses or states, which we can call the arousal system. Number 1, safe. You feel calm and connected to those around you. 2, mobilized, which is fight or flight. It senses danger, your heart rate and breathing increases, cortisol and adrenaline is released, so blood rushes to your muscles. This is our fight-flight response. 3, immobilized, or known as freeze. When you are in an intense situation, you may just stare, be frozen. ANS detects that the danger is so great it shuts you down. In this state, our heart rate, blood pressure, and body temperature decreases and pain-numbing endorphins are released. The more stressed we are, the less access we have to the smart part of our brain, the cortex, that thinking part of our brain. And then we have another stress response that the brain can rely on. It is the dissociative response. I liken this stress response as the man with two faces. Why? Because he can be the one that happily daydreams, but he can also be the one that protects us. It's the one you need to help you shut down from the environment in order to survive. For a young child who lives in an unstable environment or has experienced a trauma, the only form of protection in abusive moments is to flee to the inner world. That is why our childhood experiences matter, because as children, our number one survival priority is to attach to our caregivers. Trauma compromises our ability to engage with others and develop deep friendships, replacing the need for connection with the need of protection. Unfortunately, this can keep our ANS from functioning in a healthy, regulated and resilient way and keep us stuck in a state of survival. When our ANS functions well, it moves fluidly from one state to the other. 1 minute mobilised, ready for action, and the other resting and recovering. See the chart on the following page or refer to the PDF that accompanies this Audible series. The good news is that we can retrain our ANS. This is done best with the help of others who are safe, attuned, and are present to our well-being and are emotionally regulated. Because if the people that were supposed to protect you and care for you instead neglected you or abandoned you, it's going to take time to build up that trust. It will take practice, because when someone is dysregulated, that is frustrated or angry, fear shuts down that part of the cortex, the smartest part of the brain. I know from experience that when you learn to regulate your oversensitized stress response, it is like the beginning of a new life. To be free from constant exhaustion, anxiety, being on high alert, and other health issues is life-changing. To be able to say and feel I'm no longer in a state of anxiety is incredible. We all know that when we are with others who are calm and happy, it makes us feel better. But when we are with others who are stressed, angry, or depressed, makes us feel worse. Remember, it's going to take time, just one step at a time. The most helpful exercises or activities we can do is both mind and body work, such as spending time in nature, walking, noticing what is around you, switching off, and just doing nothing. Have you noticed how a dog explores everything when it goes for a walk? It takes notice of everything. Smells, noises, people, everything. What about gardening? Looking at each plant in depth, looking at the lake or river. Touch, smell, and feel everything that is around you. Experience the moment right now. Yoga can also help with breathing and relaxing our stress muscles, as can dancing, singing, and helping others. Use the next page to write down what activities you would like to do to help slow down your overactive stress response. And where are those facilities located near you? A park, a yoga centre, a walking track, etc. Is there a community group that you can be part of and make new friends? If you used to run or walk, but the effort of it is too much, do the first step by just putting those shoes on and walking around the house. Then the next day, put your shoes on and walk down the path. Then the next day, put your shoes on and walk around the block. Remember, just one step at a time, and you'll get there. Doing these exercises also helps regulate the biggest nerve we have in our body, known as the vagus nerve, or the 10th cranial nerve. This is part of the autonomic central nervous system. This is the longest and most complex of the cranial nerves. What is the vagus nerve? It is part of the parasympathetic nervous system. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk describes the vagus nerve is largely responsible for the mind-body connection, for its role as mediator between thinking and feeling. The word vagus means wanderer, as this nerve wanders through the body to many important organs and imparts signals to the brain regarding their level of function. Have a look at the image and see where this nerve travels from. It is a nerve that registers heartbreak and gut-wrenching feelings. You know, the sensations when you get anxious and your tummy goes crazy, your throat gets dry, your voice becomes tense, your heart speeds up, and respiration becomes rapid and shallow. Or you get that feeling that something is off. You know that feeling when you've made a decision, then said, I should have trusted my gut. You really mean your vagus nerve. Intriguing, isn't it? Why breathing is so important to our nervous system and our vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is basically listening to the way we breathe, and it sends the brain and the heart whatever message our breath indicates. Are we relaxing in a state of calm, or are we in trouble? Breathing slowly, for instance, reduces the oxygen demands of the heart muscle, the myocardium, and our heart rate drops. Amazing! So now you know why it is important in the way that we breathe. The Trauma Foundation shares this encouraging advice. It is not about staying calm all the time or mobilised all the time. It is about having a flexible and resilient nervous system that can accurately assess safety and danger and respond appropriately. If we can do the work to heal past traumas and build healthy, regulated nervous systems as individuals, families, and communities, we can end the cycle that continues to reinforce our greatest challenges and create a safer, vibrant, and more connected world. We have an incredible body. Think about what the body does. Think about this. What or who created the body that we are in? The intelligence of the body is absolutely incredible. I often think about this verse in Psalms 139, verse 13. It says, "For you produced my kidneys, you kept me screened off in my mother's womb. I praise you because in an awe-inspiring way I was wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know this very well. My bones were not hidden from you when I was made in secret, when I was woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes even saw me as an embryo. All its parts were written down in your book, regarding the days when they were formed, before any of them existed." If you would like to know more about this, our nervous system, I recommend listening to a podcast called Commune with Jeff Cranso. Podcast number 462, The Gut Shame Brain. How Stress, Trauma Impact Our Psychology with Dr. Will Cole. The Parable of the Butterfly, an international story. A man found a cocoon of a butterfly. One day a small opening appeared. He sat and watched the butterfly for several hours as it struggled to force its body through that little hole. Then it seemed to stop making any progress. It appeared as if it had gotten as far as it could, and it could go no further. So the man decided to help the butterfly. He took a pair of scissors and snipped off the remaining bit of the cocoon. The butterfly then emerged easily, but it had a swollen body and small shriveled wings. The man continued to watch the butterfly because he expected that at any moment the wings would enlarge and expand to be able to support the body, which would contract in time. Neither happened. In fact, the butterfly spent the rest of its life crawling around with a swollen body and shriveled wings. It never was able to fly. What the man in his kindness and haste did not understand was that the restricting cocoon and the struggle required for the butterfly to get through the tiny opening were God's way of forcing fluid from the body of the butterfly into its wings so that it could be ready for flight once it achieved its freedom from the cocoon. Sometimes struggles are exactly what we need in our lives. If God allowed us to go through our lives without any obstacles, it would cripple us. We would not be as strong as what we could have been. We could never fly. Author unknown. The story speaks for itself. Everything in life is designed to help you be awesome.